We got the update today that Steph had successful surgery, but it'll be 3 months until he's reevaluated. Just how are you digesting that news that it'll be at least 3 months?
Well, that's just what it is. So it's not really about anything other than just preparing the team to play tonight and for the foreseeable future. And we've got other guys out too. So we've got a lot of young players who are going to be given great opportunities here the next part of the season. So they've got to take advantage of that, and we've got to help them as best we can as well. I feel terrible for Steph, just like I feel awful for Loon and Jacob and Clay. It's kind of a crazy run, especially if you just lump it back together with the last couple of games of last season and the first four and this one over that 6-game span. It's just insane what's happened. But we've had a lot of good fortune here too over the years, so we don't spend too much time thinking about what it all means. We just push forward and try to do our jobs.
The list of players that you named, even rewinding back to last season, like it's only Game 5, and the injuries have piled up. Is that still? I know you have games to play. I know you have players to attend to, but just the surrealness of all the hardship that's already hit.
Again, it's just these are the facts. So. There's not a whole lot we can do other than provide our players with the best care, and we're confident we're doing that, and then prepare the guys who are healthy to play tonight and beyond.
Because I know you talked a little bit about this, but in a sense, almost being like a coach of a college team that you're getting familiar with the guys still, even though it's past training camp. How much are you looking forward to that, even though it's negative with all the injuries?
Well, there's a lot to be excited about. Coaching young players is really rewarding because they have a lot of growth ahead of them, and you can help them reach their own goals, their own personal goals, and reach areas where impact areas where maybe they didn't realize they could get better. And so that's a very fulfilling part of coaching. But so is winning. So, we have to look at this as, we do the very best we can to prepare our team to compete and win every single night with full awareness that, things have changed dramatically here, over the last part of last season and the early part of this one. So we carry on.
Steve, having lost another veteran for some amount of time, is there any concern about too much weight falling on Draymond's shoulders, whether it's internal within him or put on him by others?
Well, the one thing we won't do is run him into the ground. We have to maintain a good schedule with Draymond, minutes-wise, games-wise. If he's banged up, we should make sure we take care of him. And he's ready to go tonight and excited to play, and he's been great in our meetings and our practices. He's taken on a real leadership role. He understands how much our young players need him, and he's been fantastic. He's also one of the most competitive people I've ever met in my life, and so this will be a big challenge for him and for everybody. But right now he's kind of the lone survivor, and so he's got to help all these young guys, and teach them what we've been about, help to mentor them, and that's the most important thing, is to carry on with the way we've gone about our business over the last 5 years plus, just in terms of preparation and work ethic and joy and everything that we've been about. It's got to carry forward, because that's what the culture is about, and the players are the ones who really carry that, and so we'll be relying heavily on Draymond for that.
How does Steph's absence kind of change the way you view the objectives of this season and maybe even the schemes that you're going to have to kind of implement with, he kind of was, like, the system?
The objectives, and then, I'm sorry, the second part, how the team will play. Well, the objectives don't change. The object is still to win. It's still to prepare. It's still to compete. The expectations change. I think there's an awareness of, of where we are. So what we have to do is go compete and go play. And we got a bunch of hungry young guys who are ready to play. There's no reason why we shouldn't be the team on the floor that's the first team there for the loose ball. There's no reason why we can't be the team that plays hardest every night. We may not have enough talent, but we should be competitive as hell, and that's what we're going to preach, and that's how we're going to prepare the guys. As far as how we'll change our approach, I think you'll see some different things. We'll pare down our menu of plays, and we'll try to simplify things defensively, and we'll try to take advantage of our strengths that we have offensively. And for young players, I think less is more. So we'll try to get really good at the things that we execute, but we won't have as many concepts and as many plays in our menu that we're trying to execute.
Steve, specifically about the backcourt, after 4 or 5 years of Steph and Clay, what do you specifically need or expect? What can be a reasonable expectation from D'Angelo and presumably Jordan in the backcourt?
Well, they're in different positions in their career. D'Angelo has made it. He's an all-star. He's signed a big contract. He's been around this league for a while, so he understands how to get his shot and how to get other people involved. And we're going to rely on him for that. He's our most skilled player, so he's going to be on the floor quite a bit, and he'll have the ball in his hands quite a bit. Jordan is just trying to figure out which way is up, and that's what the rookie season is about for most rookies. And so Jordan will start tonight, and we'll give him some minutes here going forward, and he'll have to continue to earn them, but he'll get more of an opportunity than he's had. He's been good at times, and he's been overwhelmed at times, and we expected all of it. So I think he's doing great right now.
Defensively, what do you expect from those two guys?
Just to compete their tails off. We just have to play really hard. I think the most important thing, as I said earlier, is to maintain what we've built. It may not show itself in terms of our record, because we know it's a players' league, and we know how much you rely on talent in this league. 48 minutes is a long time, and that's what we've always talked about here, how long the NBA game is. And we've always been able to rely on our talent to keep us in the game. So we're going to have to play well for 48 minutes. We're going to have to play hard for 48 minutes, and that's not an easy thing to do, but that's the challenge.
Steve, the other night you hadn't really had time to digest it. Obviously, I think 5 minutes when you were in here, and the players as well. Any sense of what the mood was like today at shoot-around? Obviously Draymond's been with Steph forever, but a lot of these guys haven't played with him. Is it any sense of sort of how they're processing it?
I think they're in good spirits. Everybody feels bad for Steph. Maybe it's ironic that Greg Popovich is in the building tonight, but one of the reasons that I think so highly of him, and one of the reasons I love playing for him, is he always had a sense of perspective. You walk into the building and you've lost 3 games in a row, and you're shooting poorly and you're hanging your head, and Pop would inevitably say, are you a Syrian refugee? Really? And then you'd kind of like, yeah, you're right. We are the most lucky people in the world, and I don't mean that to sound trite. It's the truth, and our players understand that. We try to offer them the same perspective, and it's part of Pop's brilliance, and it's a part of his coaching that I've tried to adopt. It's a constant reminder that we play basketball for a living. Who gets to say that? And they get to come into this $1.5 billion stadium every day and compete against the best players in the world. I mean, we have it made. So perspective is everything, and right now we need to lean on that.
Given that, did you say something to them this morning?
Sure. Yesterday, yeah, we talked about that, but we talk about it all the time. We do. We remind each other, and I have to remind myself. Sometimes I get down in the dumps, and it's like, oh yeah, you got a pretty good gig going. So we should all be very thankful for what we have, and understand that this is just life. And we've had so much good fortune here the last 5 years, and I don't think we ever took that for granted, nor should we have. And we take this, we accept this for what it is, which is just life, the way it goes.
Steve, real quickly, what's your impression, or not your impression, what surprised you about the way D'Angelo Russell has played for you, how quickly he's adapted, and the challenge that he's facing getting into your system?
No, nothing is surprising. I mean, we've watched him for years. We've played against him when he was with the Lakers, many times. I was well aware of his skill level. He's a brilliant passer. He can shoot long range shots. He's a great mid range shooter, floaters. So he's got a lot of skill, and obviously we're going to need all of that right now.
How do you take the challenge of it all personally? I mean, I know, knowing what you know, like from a competitive standpoint, how are you taking that challenge? And then have there been any coaches that, I don't know if you talked to Pop or some other coaches who have been in a similar situation where you kind of squeeze some advice from them?
Well, I lean on my staff. Ron Adams has seen it all in this league. Mike Brown has been a head coach, and he's coached teams in the finals, and he's coached teams that were in the lottery. So you lean on your staff, and it's you know that when you get into this league, and I've been in this league for a long time. Whether it's a player, general manager, coach, I've seen a lot of stuff too. So it's all part of it. So you just come to work and enjoy it and work at it and see what happens.
Last one, front row right here, right side.
Steve, I know you tend to comment on shootings. There was one in Northern California, pretty close to home, in Orinda. Did you hear anything about it, and what are your thoughts on it?
I literally just heard something about it on the drive-in. So I don't know that my response will be any different than my previous responses. I wear this green bracelet for the Sandy Hook Promise, which is the promise to try to make our kids safer in the future and safer from gun violence. And I support a lot of gun violence prevention groups, and all I can say is how sorry I am for the victims and their families, and thinking about them. Thank you.
Yeah, the last one.
Just Derek White, what did
Yeah.
you see from him in the World Cup?
Really enjoyed coaching Derek. He's a quiet kid, really talented, probably better than he even realizes. And he played really well for us in China and in Australia, and earned his spot over there. Combo guard, can play point guard, but also play off the ball, and good shooter, just a really good basketball player.